Stative hollow verbs. In this module, I want to look at the stative hollow verbs, and these are the two middle columns in Ross's table at the back of the book. If you turn to page 553 to look at his hollow verb tables, you'll see moot and bosh. Those are the two in the middle, right? We've looked at cum, column 1, and seem, column 4. This is column 2 and column 3. So what do they look like, these stative verbs? Well, let's first review stative verbs in the strong verbs, which we covered in Ross chapter 19. We saw there that for the cal perfect, the active forms had the patach, so like pakad. This is our base form, right? But the stative forms had a different theme vowel. Here was patach. In the stative, we had either the holum or the tsere. So holum or tsere. Here's our holum, here's our tsere. That marked the stative for the cal perfect. In the imperfect, we had the holum, yefkod, for the active, and the patach, yechvad, for the stative. So it's just the opposite. So we have patach there and patach there, holum here, holum here. Now, the rules for we use the same rules for the hollow verbs. The hollow perfect statives, so this line is what we're looking at, have either tsere or holum, okay, up here, just like the strong verbs. And that's basically what this module is all about. So we'll look at two, moot and bosh. These are, of course, the two that Ross has. And we'll see that with moot, we have tsere. Moot means to die, but also means to be dead. So you can see how it's stative. And it uses tsere in some forms, and bosh uses holum, generally holum vav. If I can write it out here. So this is similar to what we have here for the statives and the strong verbs. So let's look at our paradigms. Here is moot. Again, infinitive construct is our lexical form, moot. And we see here in the perfect, third persons, we have our tsere, mate, meta, metu. Now we have a second person switch, which we have in the other hollow verbs as well. And so our theme vowel has reduced, but where it's there, we see the tsere, and of course, we see it over here in the active participle as well, because these are the same. All the other forms here are basically like cum. So it's only in the perfect and the active participle where you see the stative theme vowel show up. The other thing to note here, if you look at these carefully, you'll see that they seem a little short, and that's because moot ends with a tav, and these consonantal suffixes start with a tav, so you get some collapsing here. So this is really, you've got two tavs there collapsed together in here as well, or here anyway. So it's a bit shorter because your consonants, your consonantal suffixes start with the same thing that your verb happens to end with. Same thing here. So things are a bit shorter. But in the third person, we do see our theme vowel indicating stative, and we see it over here in the active participle. Okay. Perfect and participle has tsere in the third person perfect. Other forms are like cum. What about the other theme vowel you can get, which is holum? Here we have bosh. Bosh means to be ashamed, and basically we see the holum vav everywhere through the whole thing. That's why I colored the whole thing red. So all forms have holum or holum vav. And I note here that there are some identical forms, not just some, there's actually 5. Quite amazing, really. Perfect 3ms is bosh. Active participle masculine singular is bosh. Imperative masculine singular is bosh. And infinitive construct is bosh. And infinitive absolute is bosh. So everything has collapsed into one form there. Okay, one other thing I wanted to say is that with bosh, we do not have our comments. Remember I said comments marks the hollow verbs and also geminates? In this verb, you don't have that. So you have a tsere. So this one's a bit odd that way. So you don't always have your nice comments marker. Okay, anything else? No. So the two things here are that for stative verbs, you have either tsere or holum to indicate that you have a stative verb.